I want to talk quickly about the dialogue assignment that I want you to do. 600 words to 1,000 words. Try to get a good bit past 600, but try not to go over 1,000. So part of becoming a better writer is truly having a plan of sorts, being flexible with the plan, but also knowing what not to say, what not to put in. Be careful with that. You can pick anything to talk about. Have your writing read like a conversation. So this is a time-honored model or genre, if you will, of writing. It's the dialogue. And I want you just to picture yourself having a conversation with someone. You are expert at how a conversation runs, even if you don't necessarily consider yourself to be a talkative person or a gregarious person or someone who just enjoys, conversations. You know how they work. And many of us do enjoy a good conversation with someone every now and then. So, think about what two friends might talk about. That could be a way to generate an idea. Maybe think about what two strangers sitting on the plane might talk about, or two people that have just had a car accident, a fender bender, and they're waiting for someone to show up. What would they talk about? I don't know. That's what you need to come up with. So part of this is going to be a creative task, but what I really want you to practice is how to represent something that is so natural to us as a form of communication, how to represent it in writing. All right, and definitely use quotation marks for words that you want to be read as if they were spoken, and also use speaker tags. He said, she said, they remarked, he remarked, um, exclaimed, we asked, we pondered. Sometimes you don't need the tags even. If you just have a line following a line following a line, and the lines of dialogue make it pretty clear who's saying what, you don't necessarily need to even have speaker tags all the time, right? Just do be sure to be careful on how you are using the quotation marks. Include them for sure. Um, I'll let you go ahead and do some just common sense research in terms of what dialogues look like, what they can look like. You can creatively incorporate white space with this. Now, if you want to write it as a file and then upload it to our learning management system, that's fine. A Word file is very much appreciated. Word with a capital W, right? Microsoft Word. Um, many of the major LMS learning management systems are going to work beautifully with Word. No problem at all. PDFs open well, open fine. Google Docs tend to be okay, but don't forget you can also just type this right into the submission box as well. I don't mind that. I think that's fine. All right. Now, go ahead and try to find some examples of dialogue online, see what it looks like. If you want to go more to the one side of the spectrum where it literally looks like a play or a movie script, that's fine. If you want to move it more along the lines of where you have a lot of dialogue, but you also have some paragraphs of transition or explanation that you just write in terms of maybe a first-person perspective or whatever, that's fine too. And then what would I consider to be some deeper level skills here that I want you to think about? I want you to think about the three main tasks of a good writer, okay? Create interest, maintain it, reward it. Create, maintain, reward. And we're talking about interest, okay? I have to read your paper, but I want you to assume that you're writing to a magazine or something like that, and your reader does not, the audience does not have to read your article. They can skip it. They can go to another one. How are you going to create interest? What sort of title are you going to give this? What are you going to have the interlocutors, in other words, the speakers, what are you going to have them talk about? And how is the reader going to get a sense of that right off the bat? Because remember, I'm flipping through a magazine. I want you to think of me as a magazine reader who doesn't have to read your work. But it's in there. but so are 20 other articles, and I'll find one that interests me. So I'm flipping through, and what is going to grab my attention? And once I see your title and it leads me to your first line, what are you going to do to get me to your second line, to your third line, to your fifth line? Now, this principle of creating interest, maintaining it, and rewarding it carries over to academic work as well. This is more of a fun project, if you will. Of course, it's for a college class, but research papers, response essays, critiques, you'll be needing reports, you'll be needing to do a lot of texts in college, and create interest, maintain it, reward it is always going to serve you well if you can figure out how to do that. Now, the reward I'm talking about here is an intellectual award, a sense of running into a good text. Okay, just think of a song you enjoy. Why do you like that song? I mean, really, why do you like it? Whatever it is, that's a type of reward. It's created this appreciation in you. Think of think of a really nice movie that you like. There's that sense of time well spent, all right, of being recompensed for your attention by a great story. That's an intellectual reward. And sometimes as you grow as a reader and a thinker in college, you're going to read essays, you're going to read articles that really give you food for thought, or a method of thinking, or a new way of looking at something, and that's a reward. That changes you as a person. That helps you go deeper, and that's the reward I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be some huge life-changing enlightenment, but it needs to be the sense of, I enjoyed reading that dialogue, or there was something interesting there. Interest, the satisfying of interest, right, of curiosity, if you will. That's a type of reward, and that's the reward I'm talking about. So create interest, maintain it, reward it. And if your audience feels rewarded, they're never going to regret having spent time with you, with your text. All right. So think about these things, experiment a little bit, and get to work.